See, this is succession. You know what I'm saying? This is a stream of thought. A Jets loss could be the beginning, because if Dillon Gabriel can't improve with a bye week and a new play caller, and there's no hand of the king to block Jimmy Haslam from hearing and seeing what's going to happen, it's beginning and the end. Beginning and the end, bro. Because the Jets are a team who traded Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams, and have basically said, we want the number 1 pick. We are trading everybody. We are tearing it down. They've told you that. So if you come in as the Cleveland Browns off a bye with a new play caller that we hope is going to give us some juice, and you still can't put no points up, that's all we need to see. That's all we need to see. There is no sense in coming on television programs and pulling up, talking about, I don't think he's played that bad. Statistically, I'm not even pulling the stats up for you. You know, statistically, he's the worst quarterback in the league. See, here's what you got to start doing. Here's what you got to start doing. You got to start being like this. I'm not wasting my breath on you, bro. What kind of crazy work is that? You think I'm about to sit here and argue with you about who's ready and who ain't ready to go when this dude is out here throwing meatball subs, slinging the meatball subs up? Come on, man. People is already really starting to see the worst thing in the world is coming back against the Ravens with them seats empty, them orange seats, looking like you 2-7, and they booing. They got chants going. You know, the microphones pick up everything. And now Kevin Stefanski, when that happens, he can't even hide from it. He don't got the Denny's menu he could put in front of his face and act like he concentrating on calling plays, because he ain't doing that no more. So he gonna have to stand there with all his face open, all his emotions just right there in front of the whole stadium, looking around, being awkward, watching his team get beat to sleep with people chanting stuff, calling for people just booing, doing all kind of stuff. And even worse, what if the stadium's just half empty? You see, the Jets is the beginning of the end. You can't lose to a team this is the only only winnable games that you got left, right? You only got a winnable couple of games left on the schedule like that. But it goes back to Jimmy Haslam. You don't think somebody is telling him in his ear, Jimmy, we got a new stadium coming up. The team's not good. Give the people what they want. If you go back to medieval times, the knights and jousting tournaments, you go back to ancient Rome, gladiator games, you go back, sport has always been known as something that can appease the people. It gives them that competition, a beautiful distraction, we call it. And so anytime there was a famine, anytime there was raids on the city, or people had unrest, religious unrest, sickness, pain, pestilence, sometimes you can't protect your citizens from that. But what you can do is you can give them a distraction. That's how you get to the gladiator games, the jousting games, the festivals. You give the people something to distract them. And what somebody is telling them, it says, remember, go back and watch Baker Mayfield and remember how powerful hope is. Remember how powerful hope is, that the future is going to be better than it is today. We've been selling it in this country for years. It ain't changed in 400 or 500 years. Still selling hope. But it's a powerful drug. And if I'm looking around and I know this team ain't no good, they're asking them, why would you keep trotting him out there? Jimmy, you drafted him. Why is there this adversarial relationship? Everybody on the Cleveland Browns, you're paying. You drafted Dillon Gabriel. If he turns out to be good, he's your guy. But you also drafted Shedeur Sanders, someone at a much discounted price with a tremendous upside. Better player, better tools, better skills. And might I add, last but not least, he has a massive fan base. What if our goal was to convert his fan base to our fan base? Now, just bear with me, Jimmy. Just bear with me. Just let me talk to you real quick. If the quarterback that you got in the 5th round is more skilled than the guy in the 3rd round, he has a backstory. He has the sales. He has the charisma. If you propped up a 3rd round quarterback, what's stopping you from propping up a 5th round? I mean, you're 2-7. We could be the only 2-7 team that gets flexed to 4:00 games because people are pulling up. We could only be the only 2-7 team that's much watched TV across this country. We could be the only 2-7 team where people, politicians, rappers, elders, lawyers, TV stars, everybody, they tune in. Here's the numbers, Jimmy. Here's how many jerseys he sold. Let's go back and look at these Colorado games. Why is Colorado on TV every week? Huh? It's here for you. And guess what? If he plays well, who reaps the benefits? He's not an opponent. You reap the benefits. So what's the downside? If you could run the ball with Quinshon Judkins for 60 times in a weather storm and win games, why couldn't you do it with him? If the quarterback you got now is gonna throw the ball in the end zone and not look like he knows what he's doing and throw picks, why not do it and still have people actually care about it? And slowly but surely, Jimmy Haslam looks around and says, you know what? You're right. Why have we been doing this to start with? Huh? What are we doing? Hey, Jimmy, you see how many people watch Joe Flacco in Cleveland? Here's the data on that. They're watching Joe Flacco. The Browns fans watch him when he was in Cincinnati. Do you know what they'll do? It's marketing, Jimmy. Listen, let's figure it out. You're losing right now anyway. And the guy who's saying he's not ready, I mean, that sounds keen. The guy he's putting out there is obviously not good or ready or never will be ready. But we're still playing him? No, you need to be a little smarter. You notice I don't get all balled up and angry when Dillon Gabriel is playing. You know why? If he plays good, he'll kick pen. If he don't play good, he'll be out of the game. But let me ask you a question. You and I, we aren't the same. Why does your face crunch up? Why can't you say and just talk your talk? The truth will set you free. Because somebody said somebody had a bad interview. You know what? Give me them people. I used to go into my interviewing process and tell folks all the time because they was giving all the good people to the other teams. I had to start downplaying my hires. I don't know, man. I might think about taking him. I might take him. I mean, I don't know. He answered a couple questions that was kind of strange. You know what I'm saying? I'm a thinker when I get to the crib. You know why I was doing that? I said I can't get too excited because really underneath I'm like, give me that dude. I like that dude. But if I get too happy, they're going to take him and put him on another team. You know, they don't give me nobody. That's how I got to downplay it. You folks don't ever want to stand on your own. I'm okay with it. I stand on I'm in my own evaluations. Just think about it. Somebody told you done messed up your whole mindset. Done messed up your whole mindset. Well, what I was told. You still getting told stuff? It's the problem with the world right now. People telling you, I trust myself, I trust my eyes, and I trust. I didn't say this for 6 months. You let me know where I've been wrong at. Let's get to the chat. Yes. Here we go. Time to get to your chat. One of the funnest parts of the day. We appreciate you guys. Again, if you cannot afford the super chat, don't worry about it. Just put a like and a comment in the section. That helps our interaction rate. We want you guys to be interactive with this thing. We appreciate every single person. I can't get to every single comment, but trust and believe. People do know I be in the comment section. I stay in the comment section wherever I'm at. So I appreciate you guys. So continue to support. Hit a like and subscribe. And just a like, it helps that content get to where we need to go. Here's 102 yards, 35th in the NFL, 5 touchdowns, 32nd in the NFL, 2 picks, 37th place QBR, 26.3, 31st place. Kevin can't run from this. Wrist alert. You can't run it. This the figure 4 leg lock. Can't run from this. By the way, he can't run no more. He ain't calling the plays. Ain't it funny how things change? In the words of the great 50 Cent, damn, homie. Last week you was the man, homie. What happened to you? Kirk Davis. It ain't a Disney cartoon, but my top 3 cartoons movie when I was a kid, Land Before Time, Small Soldiers, and Static Shock. Listen, let me tell you about this, Kirk Davis. My aunt and my mom took us to watch The Land Before Time. And when Ducky was in, when they was talking about when that comet hit and them dinosaurs died, it scarred me, bro. Messed me all the way up. Messed me all smooth all the way up. By the way, a Goofy movie. Dun, 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 dun. Boy, Tevin Campbell was cooking on that boy. That Goofy movie. Hey, they need to cut. Listen, by the way, check out Top 5. We do Top 5 lists. If you're a member, it's a great show. Me and my brothers do a Top 5. We did the Top 5 cartoons. We did all that. Make sure you go check it out. But a Goofy movie was crazy. Appreciate you, my man, Kirk Davis, for being a member as well. Deshaun Watson, $199. We drafted Johnny Manziel because of a crash. Shout out to Deshaun Watson in the chat, by the way. Miss Bell, got my T-shirt 71 this month. Thank you, G. Bush. Thank you as well, Miss Bell. We appreciate you. Appreciate you. I told you we be working, man. Hold on. We got to get to something. I appreciate all of you being here. This was really cool for me. I got to shout out to everybody in Triumph Magazine, right? I got to shout out everybody. This is a Black-owned magazine, and they did a feature piece on me and gave me the cover of Triumph Magazine. And they came to my house. They came to my studio. We shot in locations all around the city of Cleveland. And I'm going to tell you what, thank you so much for doing that, because they did a great job of the story. It told my story. It told me my passion for the city. And this just came out. I got it. I was waiting for it, but I'll show you, man. How great is that? Look at that. This is crazy, man. Shout out to Triumph Magazine for giving me the cover of this. They had it. We did it a little bit ago. They did a great piece on it. I just want to show you just a little bit, because I gotta shout them out, because this stuff to me is wild to me, man. Look, I mean, it's just they did a whole photo shoot with me, man. A whole thing. Shout out to those guys. They did a really good job. They even have my wife in here and talked about how important it is to have support in your community and what it means to be representation or be representative of what's going on in the community. So I want to thank them so much for doing it. I don't know when it's going to come out, but they gave me a little sneak preview and a little thing of it. But shout out to them. This is a really high quality magazine, man. Shedeur Sanders was on the cover of it last month, and I want to thank them for doing that. So I appreciate Triumph Magazine. Make sure you guys support that. And it's excellence in Cleveland's African American community. So I want to thank them for doing that, and I appreciate it. Here you go. Thanks. So let's see. Fat Tommy super sticker. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Stelmo Fun, G. Bush, they not really here for the Browns. They just want the free lunch. Man, get that free lunch, man. Kurt Davis became a YouTuber. Thank you so much, Kurt. We appreciate you, right? Trey Mack, had to pay my little coins. I asked FB Teams this, and I want to get your opinion, G. Bush. Has Dillon Gabriel made any throws similar to Shedeur Sanders? None. Zero. We do film breakdown. Me and Tyvis, we not only show you the throws he's missing, we tell you we haven't seen one throw yet that even approaches those throws. And the most disingenuous part about this is that when people get on here and try to act like that game did not happen, it's gaslighting at the highest degree. It is. The fact that you've omitted that from the record, like it just didn't happen. They refuse to talk about it. They refuse to show highlights of it. They refuse to even mention it. The only thing you hear is he's running backwards. And they act like running backwards against the Rams, trying to make plays with guys that are working in the workforce, not even in the NFL right now, is worse than 2 interceptions and a safety in the end zone. It's look, man. Tell me without telling me you just don't like him. Tell me without telling me. Like you can't be serious with that. Like 5 sacks is equivalent to 2 turnovers and a safety. Points were given away. Massive turnover-worthy throws. He was sacked 6 times against Pittsburgh. We mentioned none of that, but we still going back all the way to the Rams game. It's not. I mean, come on, people. Like that's not even a intellectual argument that you can even have, right? But the fact that you act like we just didn't see it is crazy work to me. And people who are detractors of Shedeur Sanders do it every time they talk about him. They'll say he's not throwing on time. How is he not throwing on time? And I just saw him throw 3 footballs through. What are you talking about? He's not throwing on time. Like, I don't understand. What are you talking about? It's on tape. It's there for you to see. The highlights is available. It's right there. Stop telling me what somebody else is telling you, but you don't got a name to it. This is my problem with people. I don't need nobody to tell me nothing. You know why? I let it be known when I pull up to these channels with my film work that I'm doing my homework. So guess what? I don't need you to tell me what you heard from somebody who I don't even know or care about, because I know what I've done. I know what I watch. I know the levels and work I put in. So don't tell me that your source is bigger than what I'm doing myself. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I can believe anybody. I can work with anybody that put the level. If you're watching tape and you're doing film breakdowns, and you doing everything you can to educate yourself on the game of football, and you formulate your opinion around that, I ain't got no problem with you. I will shake your hand and we can have an intellectual debate based on what we both saw. But if you're not doing that and you're telling me what somebody else done told you and nobody even knows who this Casper the Friendly Ghost person is, I'm gonna have no argument with you. I'm gonna just keep it pushing. Man, I ain't got no time to be arguing with you. That's little kid stuff. That's little kid stuff. I got a best friend. Who your best friend? You can't see him. He's invisible. What? I got a girlfriend. Who your girlfriend? He don't go to this school. You're right. T-Storm VA 2012. See you, Auntie Redskins Commanders fan. Here for 12. I survived 20 years of bad ownership with Dan Snyder. The Browns' history of dysfunction is criminal. It's of the highest levels. It's of the highest level. But I'm going to tell you what, D. Podesta's up out of here. Ooh, change is coming. Change is on the horizon. Change is moving. In the word of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Aslan is on the move. Man, it be references. Maybe somebody got it. Somebody got it somewhere. Cash Money. Shout out to Cash Money. By the way, they lost the verses. I thought they had better songs. I think No Limit had more heart. Shout out to P. If you train someone since April and he still ain't ready today, you should be fired. Because how can Shedeur not be ready when Prime's his dad? Shaking my head. You know how my thing is, if you the architect of the offense that you done created and characterized and created the routes, the combinations, everything that goes into it, if that's your offense and you had to give up your offense 2 years in a row, last year to Ken Dorsey and this year to Tommy Rees, well, are you ready? You can't even say ready out of your mouth. Obviously, you weren't ready or competent. So why would I sit here and take your word about who's ready on the offense when you have been so bad? You've had to turn over your baby. Don't no mother give their baby away. I don't care how bad they is. You ever been to parent-teacher conferences? You know your kid is bad, but you still go in there. You ain't going to be so, hey, listen, I know my kid is bad, but you ain't going to be talking about it like that. You got one more. But you didn't turn over the play call and we talking about who he feel is ready. I think that's funny. Fresh Brews, thank you, my man, for becoming a member. We appreciate all our new members. We appreciate you there. Thank you so much for pulling up on us. Cameron Williams, the one thing G. Bush is going to do is take a jab at corporate America on a stream. Yeah, I'm independent media. There are things that come good with corporate structure, but there are inherent bad things about corporate structure. They view people as numbers. There is corruption. There is, there's inequality in wages. There is something to be said about how they go about disseminating and doing things in the environment, what they do in the community. So I'm just keeping it honest with you, bro. And I mean, the NFL don't get more corporate than they get. It is what it is. That's why independent media is important, because you need the ability to say how you feel about something. You need to be able to talk and speak truth to power without people being like, why did you say that? Or you shouldn't. Nah, that's the job of the press, right? Freedom of press, right? It's in the Constitution, right? Like, people always want to talk about the Constitution, but when you start to get down to something, get uncomfortable. I don't know, you should have said that. Nah, bro. We gonna keep it real. We got to. And by the way, I'm still waiting for the comment of where I've been wrong. Where I've been wrong. I mean, right now, for all that he not ready stuff, Shedeur Sanders is still backup quarterback again this week. I keep them coming. There it is. For all that not ready nonsense, for all that, why did he go back to see his father during homecoming? Shedeur Sanders will be the Browns quarterback number 2 on Saturday. Or excuse me, for all that extra. You know what it is. Just letting y'all know. Just letting you know. Matter of fact, let me just throw the picture up. Yeah, he laughing. Let me just put the laughing emoji up. We'll do some chats underneath it. Yeah. By the way, this is him congratulating Dillon Gabriel coming off the football field. You see any hate? You see any malice, contempt? You see any of that? See, once again, if I didn't put it out, if I wasn't speaking to it, he's not sitting beside him on the bench. It's not fair to Dillon Gabriel. I see him being a supportive teammate. Is what I see. But, we're going to see. Greg Castellanos. Is it possible AB didn't speak because the ball was in motion for D. Podesta to leave during the bye? Oh, yes, of course. I completely agree with that. I completely agree that was already in the move. Remember, when you're in corporate America and you're an executive, not only do I need to co-sign the move you want to make, but I need 2-3 months in advance so that we not understand what we need to do with our corporate hierarchy. If you're a regular associate, you still got to give a 2 weeks notice when you quitting, but let you be in upper level management. We need some weeks, bro, because you tied in at that level. When you tied in at that level, you tied in at all the levels. It's the reason that he can seamlessly move from football to baseball. You notice that there's no such thing as qualifications once you get to a certain level. Same stuff you be disqualified for. You know, you couldn't get that off. We be on TV sometimes on WKYC, but can I go knock on the door at WKYC and say, hey, listen, I want to be on The Bold and the Beautiful, the Young and the Restless soap opera. I want to get that off. I'll be on TV sometimes. They're like, sir, do you have any acting? No. But when you get to a certain level, you can seamlessly move from here to here and ain't no problem. For you to be able to do that, you got to be connected, and to stay connected, you got to play the game. So they already knew he was rolling out. Already knew it. We just cooking. Winter is coming, and the night is full of terrors. G. Bush using Valyrian steel. Yeah, Valyrian steel is different. That dragon glass, man. You know, winter is coming. And in Ohio, they done moved the clocks back. It's getting dark at 5 o'clock. So it's getting real spooky around them offices. It's cold outside. It's dark when you wake up, dark when you go to sleep. Start to hear some rustling in the leaves out in the good forest. And pretty soon it's snowing every single day. The dire wolves seem to be restless outside, howling at the moon. You know, they say the children of men are walking around out there in the forest. They're looking for a sacrifice. Potent 76, #1 sports show in Cleveland. I appreciate you. Jamie Newfer. Dillon will get 7 games. Shedeur will get 6. The 5th round won't get a bigger runway than the 3rd rounder. It's that simple. Draft capital does matter. Here's what I'm going to say with you, Jamie. Why you think he Here's the thing that happened, Jamie. Kevin Stefanski sacrificed his play calling to get to that number of games that you talked about, because he's playing so poorly that he's going to play himself out of that position. So the only way that Kevin Stefanski can buy him some more time was to give himself as a sacrificial lamb to say, I'm going to turn play calling over. And when he did that, he's going to say, okay, I'm going to do that in the bye week. It's a Jets week. If he balls during the Jets week, it give him more time. Because you are correct. The plan was all along to give Dillon Gabriel more games than Shedeur Sanders. You can't have the guy you handpicked play so poorly that now Shedeur Sanders is playing 8-9 games. That don't look good, right? That the optics of that is looking crazy. So you are correct in a sense, but the problem you have, Jamie, is this: Kevin Stefanski, with every loss, with every succession, and every battle. See, this is like, you know, in the Game of Thrones thing, you know, the Baratheon needed Melisandre. She put all her little magic on him. And as long as he was winning wars and winning battles, he was still in the game. But the second he start losing men, the second he stopped making sacrifices, the second he stopped really winning them battles out there, he was never in contention after that. You can't compete with dragons. You can't compete with the dragons. You didn't have the most money. You're not a Lannister. You don't have all the fields. You don't have all of the great food that people need to work with. So what are you going to do? And it's the same case with this situation with Kevin Stefanski. Once you start losing games, you lose the ear of the king. You lose some of that influence. The influence started to go when Flacco got moved and you didn't know it. The influence started to move when you said Bailey Zappi was going to be the backup quarterback, and it didn't happen because they said, no, we're not doing that. And then when Andrew Berry said, I ain't even got to speak to what I'm doing. I ain't speaking to nobody during the week. So the Jets game is the Battle of Waterloo. It's what we going to do. It's Gettysburg. We're going to figure out today, either the war is going to go this way or it's going to go this way. And if you play bad enough against a Jets team that's terrible, it's going to be hard to come back from that. I'm just letting you know. But I appreciate the super chat, though, because I do agree with half of what you said. My concern is Dillon Gabriel played good in 2 games. Dillon Gabriel plays like crap for 2 games. Will Shedeur get time to prove he is him? That the guy, the only one legendary. Well, here's how I do. I don't wish or hope. Here's the reality. Somebody behind the scenes is saying, Ken Carmen said it best. Is people going to jump up and down that he played good against a Jets team that's trying to tank? The same way nobody jumped up and down and said, oh, he was balling against the Miami Dolphins. No. Like, there's two different tracks here. Like, this ain't old school whatever. This isn't old school, hey, as long as we won and the quarterback still struggled, we can't talk about the quarterback that week. No, we're not on that type of time. They could take an L and he could play horribly, he could play terribly, and they win, and we still gonna be like, nah, you still need to make a change. Let's not conflate the two things. I'm waiting for a great game that he's played thus far. I'm waiting for one great game. I'm waiting for one good game. I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for the throws. Miss Bell 70 says, Reese has been saying Shedeur was ready for weeks in spite of what Kevin is saying he wasn't. I can't wait to hear who tries to take credit when they see him. Oh, well, listen, you guys won't let him. You guys ain't going to let it go. Y'all got a long memory. You remind people very quickly about who said what and when, how, where, what. You got a notebook. Cash Money says, I'm from Cleveland, South High. I've never been a Browns quarterback. I've never seen a Browns quarterback come to the hood before Shedeur. If he leaves and wins the Super Bowl, Browns bankrupt. I always told you like this. Like Tony Rizzo said something before too. And Riz been cooking this week. He said, somebody said something about, I can't believe you're talking about a backup quarterback or a fifth round pick so much. And he said, listen, man, don't tell me who I could root for. I've been a Browns fan for 60 something odd years. I root for the Browns and I root for who I want to root for. He's like, I root for Luke Whippler because he played center for Ohio State. I root for who I want to root for. Stop trying to make these mythical mental gymnastics where it's you gonna pit me against somebody else. Man, listen, man. If you don't go in here with somebody, I'm a grown man paying taxes. I told people like this. Listen, what he did for that group of people, I told people he was cool with me. I don't care if he never throw no touchdown passes. He went to the hood where people lost everything, and he pulled up and showed up. He didn't just cut a check. He didn't just pay for stuff. He cut the check, he pulled up, and he gave his time, energy, and effort and was genuine about it. He going to schools, being genuine about it. I care about my community. If he don't throw no touchdown passes, cool. I rock with him as an individual. It is what it is. If he plays poorly, I would say, he plays poorly. But it's time out for people trying to make you, listen, first and foremost, you can't make me choose no side, no way. You don't count like that. And first and foremost, man, for you to question, people questioning your character, my character was solidified before. You know what I had to do to even get here? My character was solidified just to the work I had to put on just to get in here. This ain't my first rodeo. The barbershop been doing this 12 years. So if you came around and think this is controversial, I was the first person talking about you and lost your mind. You talk about kneeling. When they was telling people shut up and dribble, I said, you tell me shut up and dribble. Let me tell you, you might as well call me out my name. Because if you think I'm your entertainment, the fans we want entertainment. We don't want to hear about the rest of that stuff. Well, listen, don't watch. Nobody care you got no regular job and you want to, I have a regular job. I come here for a release. Well, you better go gamble or something. Get you a hobby. Bowl, basket weave, but G. Bush ain't gonna be your release from reality so you can do what you want to. We've been doing this, we've been cooking. So people try to tell you, well, you can't, bro. Who is you? Who? Yeah, come on now. Black Playbook. I find it funny, Bo Nick's game is slowly looking like Dillon's. The Oregon NFL Great White Hope pipeline is trash. Well, Justin Herbert is pretty good, though. I'll take him. I will take Justin Herbert. But Marcus Mariota was not good at all. So, I mean, that's 3 out of 4. Powers OG Miles was helping Shedeur after practice during the preseason quite often. I never see him do that of all the seasons he's been playing. By the way, like this notion that, oh, he's not putting in the work, he ain't doing this, bro, it's on camera. He has his own media company. He's getting followed with cameras everywhere. And it's pictures of him throwing the ball in the rain. There's pictures of him throwing at John Carroll. There's pictures of him throwing the ball. There's pictures of him getting treatment. People try to make it, well, he's on a plane. Listen, he went there. He pulled up with a doctor. Don't you understand the state-of-the-art facilities? He pulled up. He was in Colorado less than 24 hours. Sorry, guys. I think it's cute. I don't know if I think it's cute or disturbing that you're trying to make an issue out of a person going to see his father who's battling cancer and is a cancer survivor. I don't understand in what world how you can even get that off. Like, I'm going to go see my dad for less than 24 hours after he's battled cancer, and then that's somehow seen as he doesn't care about being the Browns quarterback because he didn't bury himself. Stop it. Frankly, you can't even comment on that. To be truthful, you can't even really get that off. I'm surprised people let you get that off. True life. Mr. Bush, we all want Sanders to play, but let me be honest. Who has actually called the shots for the staff or for the staff, the owner? Hey, look, the owner is always, here's the thing. The owner is always going to be the dude that's going to call the shots. Here's another thing. I've worked in businesses. What billionaire don't call the shots? Billionaires run our government. Billionaires run our financial institutions. Billionaires run our military. Billionaires run our school systems. Billionaires run our farms. Like, I don't understand why they sold y'all so well on the fact that this is, oh my gosh, this is different than regular life. No, billionaires run everything. And what moves them is green, influence, and power. Why would you think any billionaire it has ceded over territory? That's why I'd be laughing and say, you need to just cut the check, Jimmy, and move out of the way and let the other people handle it. And what industry do they do that at? I mean, this is America. Where have you been living at? What billionaire to date has turned over the purse strings, left us alone, and said, here you go. We're going to leave it up to the common man. Really? This is what, really? Emmanuel Johnson, AG. You see the video when Shedeur got drafted and he was on the phone with Barry. Last thing he said was, prove to people who passed on you wrong. And they can keep talking about 5th round picks. And guess what? He's one play away. And by the way, I always tell people like this, we can talk all we want. But never lose fact of this. The common denominator is he has to go prove it. That's always been that's always been the main thing. He got to prove it. Just like Dillon Gabriel got to prove it. Or Stefanski or Barry or whoever. He has to prove it. It ain't up to me. I could think you're going to do something, but what you got to show it. Ms. Bell thought they could break Shedeur Sanders. They portrayed him as something he never was, and he took it. Can't wait for him to make his enemies his footstools that play on the field. And look, what's the name had one of my areas of opportunities was holding grudges. I'm a Scorpio at nature. And I used to hold grudges for years. And the Lord been working with me on holding grudges. And he's like, hey, you're a born sinner. I ain't holding no grudge on you. He's like, so what make you think you can hold a grudge? You better than me? It's like, yeah, I might want to go ahead and work on that. So Shedeur Sanders, as a follower of Christ, you're going to have a level of, and he will, because he's already shown that, you're going to have a level of inclusion. Yeah, I know a lot of people doubted me, but people going to doubt you all the time. You know what I'm saying? No hard feeling. No I told you so's. No axes to grind. Just, this is, I just wanted the opportunity to prove myself, and hopefully we continue to win football games or I continue to play a certain way. You see what I'm saying? It's the grace involved, because leadership ain't really about people telling people I told you so, because when you already know and when God already gave you something, in your heart, you don't need nobody else to tell you something when he already done let you know. So your job leadership is for those that can control their emotions. Leadership is for those individuals that understand that they ain't gonna like you all the time, and that you need allies in the world, and that your nature should be inclusion, not division. That's what leadership is about. And leadership ain't about saying I'm the leader. It's about the way you move and how you gonna get it. And the reason why people follow him and like him is because he's shown that in other places and other stops. He's been graceful in this situation. He's been a good teammate. He's come to talk to people. He did something in community. And when he plays, there's going to be more people and more eyeballs. And then your responsibility even grows even further. But this is a maturity process, and this is something that needs to go take place, because just like all of us, we got shortcomings and we got things that we got to work on. We all got things that we need to have, and we need to look and say, do I need to be better in that area? And so that only comes by fire, trials, and tribulations. You don't never get better by being good. He said it himself. This is the first time in my life I've been away from my family, that I've had people who have been adversarial, and I haven't been able to play. So now I need to find out who I really am as a person, a human, as a man. And those trials and tribulations are what make you ready. That's how you know you're ready. But that readiness is being taken place right now. I talk, I ain't trying to get preachy. I'm just trying to give you something. You ain't got to take it. Nita says, Shedeur has the most important thing right. He trusts in God's plan for him, because all the terrible narratives, moving the goalposts, coach favoritism, etc., is exhausting just for us as fans. That's why you got to lock in. That's what we call when we say the not ready thing. These are all the things that you go through to get ready. That's the ironic part. All these things are the things you go through to get ready. Because guess what? This is easy. All you got to do is play good a couple games and people be on the squad. There's a lot of people waiting to jump on the bandwagon. But the thing that you got to understand when you're talking about whether or not he's ready is how do you deal with losing a game against Patrick Mahomes, an AFC Championship game where you threw an interception that you knew you shouldn't have threw? How do you deal with getting strip sacked or getting sacked and losing some yards in a Super Bowl? How do you deal with an injury, right? Coming back from it. How do you deal with conflict with teammates? Those are the big things. This is easy. It's the start. All you got to do is play a couple of games, ball out. People in Cleveland want to see a winner. They'll be right on the board. But the thing that you need to be really preparing for is what happens when it really hit the fan. Electric Cornbread, help me understand why AB gets so much hate when he consistently drafted super solid young talent. Maybe AB has held back Shedeur too. Seems like then wrong fall guy to blame. Well, here's the thing. Andrew Berry is not without fault. Rightly or wrongly, when you move on from Baker Mayfield and Baker Mayfield plays well, people are going to say you had a franchise quarterback. When you trade a lot of picks and guarantee contracts for Deshaun Watson, it looks like that it hasn't worked out. People going to get on you. When you miss on Jed Wills, who was a top 10 pick at offensive line, and he doesn't even get to another contract, he's not in the league, you look crazy, right? When you draft David Bell and Anthony Schwartz in the third round, and those two guys are no longer in the NFL, you look crazy. Not given the fact Puka Nacua was in those drafts. Amon-Ra St. Brown was in those drafts. So you do that, you look crazy. So he does have a nice track record this year of some guys he's drafted, but for the most part, he's had some missed draft classes as well, too. Now, the difference between him and Kevin Stefanski is his draft classes looks better than Kevin Stefanski's playbook and offense. All those things are part of what it goes into Andrew Berry and what he's thinking. But one thing that you will say is Kevin Stefanski put his reputation on Dillon Gabriel. If Andrew Berry stakes his reputation on Shedeur Sanders, then who wins? If Shedeur is good, Andrew Berry. Chantel Pitton. If Jimmy didn't pick Shedeur, why did his daughter and grandkids wearing 12 jerseys in Miami? He did pick him. He's a lottery ticket. All he got to do is be like, so you mean to tell me I got to keep watching this guy play? When I got the lottery ticket I can scratch, give me the lottery ticket. And by the way, D. Podesta's out the mix. So it's even a greater chance that they're going to play him. And guess what? Tommy Reese is calling plays, not Stefanski. It's funny how things switch up. Sapper Daddy, great breakdown as always, G. What do you believe will be the final shoe to get Shedeur in there or Kevin fired? Well, we kind of went through it. The Jets game could be the beginning of the end because the Jets, it's all about the optics. Y'all got to realize this. It's all about the optics. It's not about the wins or losses. It's about when you got people that are in high places, the first thing people don't want to be looked at is they don't want to look like they're looking crazy. Don't be looking crazy out here. You don't want to make people look like fools out here. And the thing that hits you is the Jets are losing on purpose. They traded their best two players. You had 2 weeks to prepare for the Jets, 2. And after a certain period of time, they're not going to be it. Dillon Gabriel, just because he's not, see, right now, Dillon Gabriel is playing not on his merits. It's based on the fact that so many people just don't want to see Shedeur Sanders. Anybody but Shedeur train, I didn't keep it real about that. It's obvious. I don't even need to say nothing because he's playing. If you ask anybody about Dillon Gabriel's play, give them 2 sentences. They'll already pivot from him to Shedeur Sanders. 2 sentences. They can't even stay on Dillon Gabriel's play for more than 2 sentences without going to Shedeur Sanders. That's the problem. That's what's going to get him off the field. And Kevin Stefanski has lost power precipitously throughout this thing. It's death by 1,000 cuts. Because now what happens? The second Dillon Gabriel is on the sidelines and they have to admit that he wasn't good, that's the nail for Kevin Stefanski. It's done. Because at that point, he's shown you that even if you wanted to get another quarterback, he doesn't know what he's looking at. Even if you wanted to get a quarterback in next year's draft and you pick him, he can't put him in the offense to do anything. He's an offensive guru. Why would I hire you as an offensive guru, coach, and you done gave up play calling 2 years in a row? It's already over for Kevin. He's in an incubation period. He just don't know it. He running around sick without no symptoms. Brody's bottom line. The Sports Pod. Shout out to you, my brother. And by the way, I see what you did right there at the Sports Pod. Okay, I see you out there. Do your thing, homie. Yeah, I see you. Browns draft 2 wide receivers in the first round and offensive lineman. After that, if Gabriel or Sanders don't work in 26, draft Sanders. And if you hear this, y'all feel free to take this around, because you draft me Cardinal Tate, you get me another receiver and some linemen, and Shedeur Sanders got a whole runway for the offseason and is going to get reps and is actually out here able to throw to regular people, not support staff and training staff. Not only will your fan base be excited, not only will your season ticket base be excited, but you will actually have something to look forward to, hope. And at that point, Kevin Stefanski will be going too. Think about it. Think about it like this. You let me know. Put it in the comment section. Put it in. Somebody tell me somewhere, and I want the detractors to pull up for this one. You telling me a young, I don't even know, even if it's Florida, a young upstart head coach or a coach that's going to be a football coach. Let's just say a football coach. We ain't talking about no analytics. We talk about a football guy. You tell me him as a coordinator or him as a coach. Jim Schwartz still holding it down on the defensive side of the football. Shedeur Sanders with an offseason, new weapons, and retooling the offensive line. Quinshon Judkins with an offseason and training camp. You remember he missed his. Jerry Jeudy, Harold Fanning Jr. after a year under his belt. And a rejuvenated Myles Garrett. Are you serious? Tell me you're not excited about that in 26. Tell me you're not excited about the possibility of you throwing the football to Carnell Tate and the possibility of having an opportunity with a second-year Quinshon Judkins and a new head coach with a new vision and a football. You lying to yourself if you can't get behind that. You lying to yourself. You would rather go with a quarterback with no offensive line, another young, stop. Come on now. Clint, the one, member for a month. I do believe that Jimmy chose 12, and maybe Andrew agreed. Unfortunately, there's a lingering thought in the back of my head that they may not play 12 period because they want to show. Nah. Listen, Clint, hey, change is upon us. If they wasn't going to play Shedeur Sanders, Bailey Zappi would be your backup. If they weren't going to play Shedeur Sanders, Joe Flacco would still be on the team. If they weren't going to play Shedeur Sanders, they should have wasted all those reps on Kenny Pickett. If they weren't going to play Shedeur Sanders, why would they strip Kevin Stefanski of play calling? It don't make sense. Patience. By the way, thank you so much for your support for 1 month. Man, I appreciate you holding me down for a month and being a 1 month member. We appreciate you. Kirk Davis, they think they're going to run into a once-in-a-lifetime quarterback. Why not build around the quarterbacks they have a good offensive line and tackles? You watch. Kirk, you're going to start to see that more often. Shout out to Zach Jackson. I told him when I spoke to him, I said, what? You the first person I said that. Why ain't nobody else saying that? G. Bush, Deshaun is really the lottery ticket. No, Deshaun is the insurance policy. The lottery ticket is Shedeur Sanders, because if he's good, he gets you out of the Deshaun Watson contract. If the lottery ticket don't work, Deshaun Watson is the insurance policy. All else fails, break glass, put him in the game. Truth ain't true. G. Bush, your commentary is bigly beautiful. Clarity is a mother. You know what? Shut your mouth. Thank you, Truth ain't truth. Kirk, I take Deshaun Watson for 500, please. Hey, let's not get besides ourselves, people. Let's not act like Dillon Gabriel is somehow better than Dillon. Again, in the words of Cigar Sean King, who is elite. Cigar Sean King is different. Dillon Gabriel has never been better than Deshaun Watson at any level. High school, middle school, church, practice, band. He hasn't been better than him at not one point of his life. Ohio Hempin. Z. You want to sell PSL? Play Shedeur Sanders. Well, you see some of them prices, them PSL prices. Hey, Jimmy, I know you. Hey, Jimmy, come on now. First and foremost, I like that gunmetal gray, the Browns. That should be your third alternate color. And if you want to sell them PSLs, you got a whole year runway to do so. Season ticket sales will be up 75%. Go ahead and name Shedeur Sanders quarterback in 26. Go ahead. Brazil. Could Shedeur be a bridge in 26, then traded for the 27 draft? Arch Manning and Browns hire Manning for an office. I think 12 the franchise. Well, here's the thing. There's only one person that's popular as Arch Manning, and that's Shedeur Sanders. He needs more popular. I mean, Arch Manning is a lottery ticket, but Shedeur Sanders his fan base is fervent, bro. is overreaching. It's people that watch this podcast that don't even be Browns fans, and they pull up. Hey, let them know. Hey, if you're in the building right now, 3,675 people in here, hit the like button over 3 different platforms. We on UCSS, we on the Babrbershop, we on Facebook, and we are on Twitter. Let them know. You think I'm just lying. It's people in here right now that be like, yo, I watch the Cardinals, the Patriots. I watch the Eagles. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I watch the 49ers. I'm down here in New Orleans. I'm a Texans fan. I'm a Titans fan. These folks be everywhere. It's one person, and it's not ain't that many that's higher profile than Arch Manning. And one of them is Shedeur Sanders. Just saying. Peace Storm VA 2012. All Sanders fans want is a fair shot. No hate for Dillon Gabriel. I've been saying that for weeks now, man. It'd be crazy because they try to, oh my gosh, these zealots, the Shedeurians are, stop. Y'all been doing way too much. All you want is a fair opportunity to play. But at every turn, there's no, you tell us why he can't play. What do you think people are going to do? They're going to push back against you. You ain't seen him play, but you talk about getting another quarterback. Think about that. Think about how disingenuous that is. You're in a season that you're losing. The quarterback that you got playing is a rookie. He's not playing well. But you sit here, give us some advice, some ridiculous advice that we don't want to rush him out and ruin him. What Dillon Gabriel's getting ruined? What are you talking about? Like he's a 12-year-old kid that's getting beat up by. Stop it. I would rather them just. I'm looking out for his long-term career. But in the next sentence, you say they're going to draft the quarterback next year anyway. So are you looking out for his long-term career? You're not. You're just sitting here trying to come up with any excuse why he shouldn't play. It's silly. And you keep doing it, and it don't make nobody else look silly but you. And I thank God for right now, Shedeur will play in the perfect time. Not my timing, not y'all's timing, but God's perfect timing. Listen to the interviews, watch his movements. He understands God's timing. We are here right now, each and every one of us, because of the timing. Not mine, not yours, but his. For everybody. We are just moving in concert on his will and time. That's why I can sit back and sip my coffee. What shall pass will pass. Neil Gray. Adaptation and change is inevitable. When it comes to sports and life, there is no fear when the outcome can't be determined without trial and error. It's beautiful. We get philosophical over here. This is why I got to. I like y'all. I like all the other platforms. I got the best people. I'm sorry. The people I got over here, I got the best people that watch. You know why? Because they bring thought-provoking content. They bring it. Nita, he not ready means we not ready to be wrong or a culture change. They don't want the same crowd they saw at Colorado, yet they want them. Ooh, girl. Tribalism is a funny thing. It's funny how instantly it became the Shedeur followers versus the Browns followers. Who created that war? I don't think nobody that was who created that war. Because here's the thing. If Shedeur Sanders is good, doesn't that mean that you're going to buy a 12 Browns jersey? You can't separate the two. That's why I can't pay for when we go out to eat, I'll be seeing, now don't get mad at me. If you do this is your life, as long as you stay happily married. But for me, ain't no such thing as separate check when we go to that restaurant. If I'm sitting up in there with my wife and we eating food and we done all sat together and we eating food, what? If she ain't got no money, that means she can't eat? If I ate, you ate. If you eat, I eat. It don't even matter whose money the purse is in. Because if we, in the eyes of the state of Ohio in the United States of America, when I said I do, you are entitled to 50% of everything I have, regardless of whether or not you're going to pay for the bill or not. So how are we going to go have a split bill? How am I going to borrow money from you? Technically, you got half of what I got anyway. So let's extrapolate that and bring that to football. If Shedeur Sanders is the face of the Cleveland Browns organization, he is the quarterback of the Browns. He is in the community. He wears the jersey. He lives here. He pays taxes here. How is it that you feel that a person that would not support Shedeur Sanders is not by proxy supporting the Cleveland Browns? See, critical thinking. It's critical thinking. I just want to be critical. Critical thinking. Rachel Saunders, not shipping and receiving. Thank you for becoming a member for a month. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, Rachel. You know, I like the fact that they show how long you've been down. I appreciate you. Potent 76. The Browns can't win because they don't have any connections or recognize any former players, coaches, or personnel. They there's a lot of the Browns players, you know, Hanford Dixon and Joe Hayden and Josh Cribbs and, you know, Eric Meg. A lot of these folks is like, I don't understand what y'all are looking at. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Sharon Bozeman, G. Bush, thank you for being clear-eyed. You know, hey, listen, I keep my glasses on. I'm a little foggy when I ain't got my glasses, but I put these glasses on, I'm good. Miss Bell 70, congratulations, so deserving. I think she's talking about the magazine cover. Shout out to them. Shout out to Triumph Magazine as well. We appreciate you. G. Bush, that's fire. Happy you was recognized for your work and impact on the community. Blessings to you and your family. Doggy Bone, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really do. You know, I told people I've gone through a metamorphosis a lot over this last year. And I truly believe that some of the success that I'm having today is due to some of the metamorphosis that God has brought me through in the last year in my journey, my personal growth. And he's been very, very prevalent in that. And so a lot of people say, well, I seen a change in your content. You know, say, you know, it's a lot of different things that I'm into. You know, I'm into uplifting my community. I'm into uplifting people. I'm into not division or divisiveness, but I'm into having conversations and making a difference. So the fact that they chose me to do that, man, I appreciate you. Shout out to Triumph Magazine again. I don't know where you can get this. I just got the copy. I don't know when it releases in coming up, but it shows the barbershop on here, and it also shows. And what I like the most is not only shows the barbershop, but it gives an opportunity to show the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. As you can see, you know, we got the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show in there. We got my guys, Earl the Pearl down here in the left, and Mikey McNuggets, DJ Hazmat. We had a lot of people, so we done shot a lot of different things that shows the Emmy that we won on the show. So it does a lot of different things to really show love to everybody involved. And you know, it ain't just about me. It's about those, you know, those individuals and people that are on all different platforms, because I wouldn't be who I was if I didn't have those individuals on the platform that contribute to that. So it's not a one-man band, not a one-man army. You know what I'm saying? It's a collaboration. So I want to thank all those dudes, Tyvis Earl, Mikey McNuggets, Director Steve, Executive Producer Steve, Jay Crawford, Jason Lloyd, Aditi, anybody who comes on, Ross Tucker, Leroy, whatever. All of them. I appreciate everyone. And see, this is why you name people. I'm Dustin Fox. I got to remember, you should never name people, because if you don't mention somebody, they're going to come back and text you. Let me think. Am I missing anybody? Mary Kay, shout out to her. So I appreciate everybody on the show and helping it build what it is and moving the conversation forward. So I appreciate you guys. Let's see where we're at. Eric says, thank you for representing us, G. Bush. Thank you. Thank you for listening, Eric. You know, it's a lot of times where, you know, I'm not the direct representation of what Black America feels, but I do feel that there is a responsibility for the Black community to be heard. And it's no knock against any other community. I just feel like you should represent those who look and feel and understand what you feel and understand. So that's not a knock against anybody else. Neil Gray, this ain't about Shedeur versus Dillon. It's about how best we evaluate and develop our rookies while incorporating our vets to be playing at an elite level for the 25 season while planning for the future. Go Browns. Very eloquently said. We don't got to divide and conquer. It's about finding out, guess what? Let's figure out how we get our guys in the best position and see what we got to win some football games moving forward. Stelmo Fudd, Triumph is the #1 Black magazine in Cleveland, city of Cleveland. I commend you on being recognized as a much needed talent in our city. The dog pound got you, big dog. Selmo Fudd, thank you so much. You know what? I was like, it was crazy because I had already been a fan of the magazine. You know, I've been a fan of it. You know, it was in the lobby of WKYC. And when they reached out to me, I was just like, I'm thinking they want me to be on like the, you know, how you give you the article. And when I was coming up, we had the Jet magazine. So let me put the ones in the chat. You know, it's about Jet magazine. We had the Jet magazine. Boy, you knew you was jumping if you was popping in the Jet magazine. In my uncle's barbershop, they would get that. They would have the Source magazine. They would have Double XL. You know what I'm saying? They would have, you know, they even had, you know what I'm saying? They even had people come by from the Nation of Islam. They would have the community board. So it was very community centric. in my uncle's barbershop prior to hair care. So it was crazy. And then, Triumph Magazine was, something I already paid attention to. So when they say, hey, we want to do a story, I was like, wow, that's wild. It's wild to me, man. So shout out to them, man. I appreciate them. Brody's bottom line, the problem I have with Jason J, sometimes, Bull, they think because we like Shedeur, we don't watch the game tape or the games. Yeah, sometimes there's a misconception, like just because we like my like for somebody is going to cloud what I'm talking about in terms of football. Like, look, man, I'm breaking down tape. I'm watching tape. I'm talking, like, do you know how many offensive coordinators that I've either played with or speak to, or countless people that played it? I mean, it's too many to count. You know what I mean? It's not like, see, I think sometimes people get caught up in the jewelry and the clothes and the way I talk, and I like to be funny sometimes, but I'm talking to people all the time, like offensive people, like people that break down tape. And so the fact that people would insinuate that, like, oh, I like Shedeur Sanders, and the fact that Shedeur Sanders, I like him, I'm just going to make up believe that he's not good. Does Mel Kiper just not like him or like him that much? He had him ranked the number one quarterback on the board. There's multiple people who did. Just like, and I didn't take their word for it, but I watched him. So, yeah, sometimes it's a little frustrating because I don't think they understand that there's a level of integrity from people who've been in those rooms who got cussed out. I used to get cussed out on tape all the time. In high school, we watched film, get cussed out, understanding like, yo, I did this, messed up. Everybody knows film is accountability. So the basis of what I talk about is film. The foundation of football is what you do on the field, not about whether I like you or not, or if you got a watch on, or if we're not worry about that. Neither. The picture shows Prime taught his children their success is not dependent on man's failure. Facts. Kevin Boykins, thank you for becoming a member. I really appreciate you, Kevin. Welcome to the family. Doggy Bone, also, G, I appreciate you unapologetically being yourself. Black nerds with a spectrum of passions is underrepresented and brings me joy seeing another nerd. I used to have, it's the difference between my mom I used to say, I used to be Garrett. A lot of people don't know, like I grew up and I was supposed to be a foreign exchange student. So there was a program in which they sent you, so, it was one of them programs where it'd be like a young gifted program or whatever. And I don't like saying young gifted because, that's subjective. It sounds crazy. It's wild work. But I was supposed to go study in Europe, right? And you had 2 times that you can go, 7th grade and 10th grade. So in 7th grade, at the time, the only sport I played was baseball. In 7th grade, I was really good in baseball. But I had really great academics. I won the Science Olympics a few times. We did so guess what? They're like, yeah, he'll go to Europe and he'll study. And my mom was like, under no circumstances, because she just felt like I didn't have the maturity level. And I give her credit because she said, if he does not learn how to deal with his own people, to talk to his own people, to be comfortable in white America and comfortable in his own community, he's going to be a person that will never be able to make it in the real world, because he has to learn how to deal with both groups of people. And so she said, I will think about it. And if he gets to 10th grade and his grades are still good, I may consider it. 10th grade came around and I grew 4 or 5 inches. I started lifting weights, grew 4 or 5 inches. At that time, I played varsity basketball, baseball, and football. And there was a little thing called all the fly little girls at school. I was like, nope, what you talking about? I ain't going to no Europe. I'm him now. I'm Himothy at Camp McKinley. I done won championships. Why would I go over there? I'm gonna just stay over here and get this. So by that time, it had already passed. But I still went to programs like Buckeye Boys State. I still went to programs in which it was based on curriculum and based on scholastic achievement. And I'm happy for those things, because it did give me a passion for other things besides sports, right? And I try to incorporate those things in my conversation. All right, let's see. B. Jimin, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. I appreciate you, man. Keisha Stephanie. Is that stuff? I apologize if I don't get it correct the first time. I try to. It seems like the narrative keeps changing to explain why he's been playing. He's not ready. Distraction. Does he want to play? It's crazy. It's funny, Keisha? It's wearing out. It's getting real. Now, you starting to see people be like, if he ain't ready, you wasn't ready. If he ain't ready, the organization wasn't ready. And the quarterback you got wasn't ready. C.A. Anderson. I can't wait for the whole city to get behind. The Browns are going to be lit. Y'all's fan base is crazy. The NFL is waiting. The world is waiting. The NFL is waiting. The world is waiting. By the way, them going to be your in-laws. They're going to be crazy. I'm telling y'all, they're going to be, y'all, the Browns fan base look at y'all like the crazy in-laws. You look at them like the crazy in-laws. It's going to take a little time for y'all to get together, but y'all both, they both think y'all crazy. Skull 13. If the Jets game is Waterloo, that AB trading Flacco is Russia burning Moscow to deny food shelter to the French army before Waterloo. Preach on, G. Bush. Boy, this is why I love this right here. History 101 with a G. Bush in the chat. Man, we got the best chat up in here, I'm telling you. Hey, Skull 13. It's a lot of confused people. They're like, what? What? Moscow was burning? I didn't know Putin was burning Moscow. Young among. I want Shedeur Sanders to start for Vegas. That's a perfect situation. Let Dillon Gabriel run his course for the next 2 games and let Shedeur start next 7 games would be a massive game for the league and Jimmy. A lot of people say Vegas. He got a lot of fans out in Vegas too. It'll be a nice game. Be people pulling up. I do think it's about 8 built-in quarters because is Tommy Rees really want that on his resume that he was the one that said, we need to go to Shedeur Sanders after the Jets game? No. And there's no way that Ravens game, St. Ivy 222. It should be a Shedeur versus Dillon. It should be we want to win. Why do certain Cleveland Browns fans and Kevin view Shedeur as the enemy? Well, this is the tale of as old as time. For every hero, you have to have an anti-hero, don't you? That's how humans gain context. Humans need context in the world, and usually the easy way to do it is to juxtapose one person versus the other person. So instead of saying we're going to win on the merits, we have to contrast what you are compared to another person. It's just easy. We do it. Why do you think it's a 2-party system in America? Republicans and Democrats. There's capitalism and socialism. There's, there's black or white. There's poor or rich. There's all types of different things, right? But usually we draw the lines in the sand and we get to it and it gives us meaning. The reality of the situation, it doesn't need to be that way. Both players play for the Cleveland Browns, and it's not a knock against either one. If you said one of them is going to be a starting quarterback and the other one's going to be a backup, guess what? When do you get to a point where you could just say, okay, well, we want both of them to play well for the Browns, and that's just what it is. But it's always been like that in the world. J.A. must be a corporate brown noser, Cameron. Love corporate America all you want. You've seen CBS's nasty work. Non-black executives were reassigned. Yeah, I did see that. While all blacks were laid off. Cameron, go to sleep. Cook, G. Bush keeps it fair. Hey, look, man, there's corporate America. Look, I done worked in every, here's the thing. I can have a critique about every industry, right? I've worked in a lot of them. I've worked in healthcare. I've worked for 4 major insurance companies. Do major insurance companies do everything that they can not to pay? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. We all as people have worked for multiple entities. The truth is, whether I'm telling the truth or not, it's big business. They're going to keep rolling regardless, right? Little old G. Bush saying something about the insurance company. One of my biggest takes was based on DeMar Hamlin dying on the football field. And he's got almost 1 billion views or something. But that take came from not from a knock against it. It came from the fact of just the me trying to educate you on, guys, you guys are worried about the wrong things. These folks is doing this. It's going to continue to keep going. K3, the best, cheesehead, but here for 12 and state G around for the G and stayed around for G. I appreciate it. Jim Schwartz, head coach, Tommy Rees, Brian Hartline, wide receivers coach, the good money take about that move. Yeah, I like that. I wouldn't mind having that. I ain't gonna lie. Take two. Only jersey I bought as an adult is Shedeur Sanders, coming from my 5 and 4 Panthers play. 12, I'll be in Cleveland to watch him make history. G. Bush preach. We trying to tell you, they're gonna pull up. Emmanuel Johnson, first D Podesta. Now we see a vid of Shedeur. Fire up the ones. Did you see the Emmanuel Johnson? He was throwing to Njoku. The ones. Yeah, I got the money. Also did Oro. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. And then he also gives me another super chat. So thanks for your generosity. G. Bush, please ask your coach how people would have felt if Baker Mayfield would have pulled up to the trailer park and blessed everyone. Baker Mayfield did some things not in that same vein in terms of just pulling up to different places. Baker Mayfield did stuff in terms of speaking and making it okay for the Cleveland Browns to be the Browns fans. He was defiant. He was brash. He was unapologetically wore his heart on his sleeve, and he represented the Browns. And a lot of people a very strong way about Baker Mayfield. And it's no knock. That's why we be laughing. You say, how you mad because you support, Shedeur Sanders? There are people that still to this day said, I'm going to follow Baker wherever he was at. They had a 6 jersey here. They went to They went to the Panthers. They followed them to Rams. And that, people on the show right now love Tampa Bay. We know who they are, but that's your prerogative. Ain't no problem with that. You can still do 2 things at once. Speaking of doing 2 things at once, man, make sure you get back here. We will be back tomorrow. Right here on the Barbershop. We're going to be breaking this game down for this game against the Jets. I told you it's pivotal. We're going to see what they're going to do after the bye week. We're going to figure out what Kevin Stefanski, Tommy Rees, does the playbook look different? And are we closer to figuring out when 12 is in the game? We'll see how it goes out, man. We'll see what Dillon Gabriel comes out of the bye week with, but I'm interested in seeing it. We want to thank every one of our guests, every one of our subscribers, and all our new subscribers for welcoming into the team. For my UCSS people, we appreciate you. For my Barbershop people, we appreciate you. If you're on Facebook, make sure you follow me. If you're on Twitter, make sure you follow me as well. With that being said, you never know where G. Bush might show up: radio, television, internet, wherever I'm at. But if you want the fresh take on sports, you already know what it is. You got to be in the barbershop. I keep the Clippers with me. Have a good rest of your day. And as always, even though I be talking about them, as always, go Brown.